Hello there, Cancers. Welcome to your August 2017 tarot reading. My sincerest apologies for getting this out so late for you guys compared to all the other signs. I had a big time crunch at the end of this month. A lot of things just kind of rolled into the picture, and I got sidetracked when it comes to making these videos. So I'm sincerely sorry that yours is coming out so late, okay? So my sincerest apologies. I'm going to relay some messages for you, and then we're going to go and lay the spread out for this month's reading, and then we'll go into that. First of all, I feel like some of you are caught between a rock and a hard place. You're in a catch-22 type of a situation, especially for those of you who are in charge of training other people, or in charge of writing performance reviews about other people, or even some of you might be in a position where you have other people that you're mentoring. So first of all, you feel like there is a need. There's somebody in your environment who's kind of underperforming, right? And you're not sure how to go about reprimanding them, and you're not really sure how to approach the situation because I feel like there is something bigger at stake here. First of all, you and Pisces and Capricorns, you guys are really, really understanding and very sympathetic when it comes to people's shortcomings. You have this innate understanding that not everyone is going to be on the same page. Not everyone understands, processes information, in the same manner. Some people are faster, some people are slower. Some people learn really fast and they forget, while others learn really, really slowly, but once they learn something, they retain it, to the end of time. So I feel like you're very understanding of human shortcomings. You're very understanding and you're very patient when you have to train, when you have to teach, when you have to walk somebody through a process or through a situation. So I feel like you have some people under you that are just not getting it. They're underperforming. They're not doing things the way that they should. And I feel like it's a cognitive thing. It's not like they're purposely, slacking off, because you're not sympathetic about that. But I feel like they're struggling. And so on the one hand, you make a lot of allowances for them. But on the other hand, people above you are kind of giving you pressure. They're just like, okay, how is Bob or Joe or Ann? How's their progress? Can we give them the boot? How long would it take for them to get it? And I feel like, on the one hand, you're understanding and you're sympathetic as to why the other person is struggling. But on the other hand, if you give them too much leeway and too many allowances, you might be seen as somebody who's too soft to be in the managerial supervisory position. You might be seen as someone who might not be appropriate for the role that you are currently in. So I feel like you're in a catch-22. Like, what do I do to prove to my higher ups that I'm capable of doing this decision? But at the same time, what can I do so I don't throw other people under the bus? Because I feel like you're grappling with this, I feel like, ethical dilemma. It also affects you, but at the same time, you're sympathetic to the other person. So I feel that you want to, really take the time to sort this out, because they're mentioning in an organization, in a chain of command, one weak link can also sabotage, that entire process that other people are working to build up. One weak link can cause the downfall of that, okay? So making a decision from a space where we look at all the pieces of the puzzle and we try to eliminate the weak link, I feel like that's going to be crucial if you are in a managerial supervisory position, okay? So being conscientious about the fact that not to be cold-hearted, but, to be conscientious of the fact that you are entrusted with certain responsibilities. And I feel like you might need to make rough decisions or tough decisions. I feel like, Cancers, you are a sign that is very likable, and you are, I was talking to a client today, and she mentioned, I am a crab that have withdrawn into my shell. And I feel like that's what it is. Deep down, you have that hard exterior where you are very capable and ambitious, and you know how to do the right things. But I feel like without that shell, you have a very soft exterior. You're very compassionate. You want to be well liked, and you work really well with people. And you work really well alongside people in a more egalitarian setting. So maybe you might want to rethink too, is, supervisory management positions, are those appropriate for me? Because I feel like you're best working alongside other people rather than leading them, okay? So that's what I'm just sensing, and I feel like it can go both ways for you guys, but I feel like maybe that might be helpful in allowing you to make that decision that you need to make. What I'm also feeling is they're saying good health diagnoses coming through and good health being restored. And this can relate to you if you are waiting on some type of a medical, prognosis. I feel like you're going to be able to get good results. If these things are like blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol levels related, I feel like you're getting very good outcomes, okay? And then I also feel a lot of you are family members are going to be figuring very prominently in the month of August, where they might call upon you for assistance, and they might also, there might be like within the family squabbles, family disputes, substance abuse issues, where family members need to come together and stage some type of an intervention. So for example, if we have like a child in the family that is underperforming or that is engaging in unhealthy behaviors, I feel like everyone in the family unit is calling upon each other to stage some type of an intervention to prevent things from getting out of control. And then I also feel for many of you, there are squabbles, situations within the home as it relates to parents, and you might be called upon as a mediator. So I feel many of you are going to be making trips back and forth to check on family members. You might be making trips back and forth to check on loved ones, to make sure they're okay, and to make sure that you're there to mediate you're there to mediate or to provide some type of a dispute resolution, conflict resolution. Okay. I feel like the family situation, they need assistance of your time, your energy, or even your financial resources, okay? So I do feel that family dynamics are figuring heavily into this month of August. I also feel as if some of you are making plans, travel plans. Travel plans is highly indicated here with the Eight of Wands, but I feel like you're making travel plans with other people. And there might be a time crunch where it might not happen, okay? It's the month of August and going into the first 2 weeks of September, we do have Mercury in retrograde, and it can complicate travel plans. It can create travel delays. It can create a slowdown, blockages, and just, things going haywire. So I feel like travel delays, it's best to, just avoid traveling, especially towards the end of this month. So I feel like some of you are making plans with a significant other or with like a friend, or even making plans to go back home to visit family. And I feel that there might be some situation surrounding that can complicate your travel arrangements, okay? Making sure you have your itinerary, making sure that you have everything planned out, and just try to, have a contingency plan in case things fall through, okay? I know this is strange because I feel like this is not normally your energy, but the third message that I have here is they mention to be very, very open-minded with people from different walks of life. If you are heavily in an environment where you're dealing with a lot of foreigners, if you're dealing with people who are culturally, ethnically, linguistically very different from you, and they might be, I'm sensing, in Western society, we tend to be a little bit more on the individualistic end of the spectrum, where every man is for himself, and once we create something, we need to fix it ourselves. And I feel like you're dealing with somebody from a culture that is more collective. You're dealing with a culture where it's like, there is that lack of boundaries, what's yours is mine. So they're taking your things, or they're asking you to do things that might not be appropriate. And I feel like it's a breach of your own sense of individuality. And I feel like if you're dealing with this, be very, very patient, understand where they're coming from, and understand that maybe, maybe that's not too bad. Maybe we're raised in a certain way, and we think that's the only way to function in society. But when we come across people who are different from us, who think more in collective terms, I feel like there's some value to that. But at the same time, you want to make sure whether or not that's appropriate for you. So I feel like some issues as it relates to dealing with foreigners, some issues as it relates to like cross-cultural miscommunication, cross-cultural misrepresentation, or even misunderstandings, that's going to be coming heavily into the picture. And especially if you're in a relationship as well, where you are ethnically, culturally, linguistically different, okay? So, I feel like some issues will come through as it relates to what's mine and what's yours, what's appropriate and what's not. So those are like social expectations are going to be heavily discussed about, and I feel like it might seep into the relationship if you are dealing with people who are very different from you ethnically. I feel like the last message here, I'm going to relay that very quickly, and then we'll go into your reading. So the last message that comes into the picture here is I'm sensing for a lot of you throughout your early, adult life, so like 20s and 30s and 40s, you were very, very excited about making money. So this might mean foregoing education in order to get out into the world, in order to get your hands dirty, in order for you to just start making money as soon as you can. And I feel for many of you, you work really, really hard, just to make money. And I also feel for others of you, you were able to take on jobs even overseas, far away from family, far away from what all of the people in your age group were doing. You wanted new, you wanted if you didn't have financial concerns growing up, you wanted to do something different, something exciting, something very, very unique. You wanted to kind of stand out, okay? Coming into the month of August, I feel like a lot of security issues are coming through regarding money. And I feel like many of you are just like, I don't really want a job, an exciting job anymore. I don't want to travel so much. I don't want to, like a job that that is exciting, that requires that embodies so much uncertainty. I just want a lot more security. I want a career, and I want a job that will give me pension, retirement, stability, and even healthcare. So I feel like your assessment of what is an appropriate job for you, I feel like you're making some major changes, and you're trying to really figure out what type of career path you need to get yourself into so that you can have the stability that you need, okay? So let me just go into your reading for this month. One of the first things that came out here, and we have the Tower card, and we have, first of all, let me talk about this. This is self-employment. This is a job where you are either in the creative industry, you're making your money work for you, or you are coming into a place of financial abundance. You have been consistently working really hard, and the money starts to rack up, right? Like the money is starting to roll in. So I feel like at this point, financially, some of you are in a good space, and some of you are progressing, and some of you are even thinking about a lot of investment opportunities. If you are branching off and doing investment for this month, I would advise you to play it safe, okay? Don't expand too fast. There is a lot of financial uncertainty right now. There's a lot of fluctuations in the financial markets. So they're saying, don't they're like don't eat all your candy at once. So I feel like it's indicative of diversifying your portfolio. It's also conducive to you looking at other opportunities, safe choices, rather than plunging right in, because I feel like there's some contraction here, and you might be at a loss, major loss, when it comes to big, risky investment endeavors, okay? So being a little bit more conservative when it comes to investment opportunities, that is going to be very crucial for you. And if you are investing, if you're like a financier and you're lending out money to people, making sure that they have a good track history under their belt, making sure they are reputable, and making sure that, you know, they are where they say they are, because I feel like making sure that the other person is legitimate is one of the safest way that you can safeguard your money. So it's sort of like you, going back to what I mentioned before, you are very, very sympathetic and you want people to succeed. You really care that people are given the right opportunities so that they can thrive. But I do feel there are situations here that you need to be very careful about as it relates to sending out a loan, making a loan to somebody, or especially giving money to financial institutions. You want to be very careful to be able to safeguard your money to avoid like a massive loss, okay? So being a little bit erring on the more conservative side, I feel it is going to be very crucial for you, all right? The second thing that came into the picture here, we have here the Sun and the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands basically indicates new projects, new endeavors, things that are very, very exciting, things that are just, you know, like they're exhilarating, such as thrill-seeking activities, such as new creative endeavors as well. If you have somebody that is bringing you new things, and especially if they're saying this is, you know, something that you can really blow up, we can really make a lot of money, we can get a lot of fame, get a lot of notoriety, get a lot of visibility, I feel that you might need to be careful as well, because this is kind of like the boy who cried wolf. They hype up a big theory, they hype up a big game plan, but when it comes to foundationally, do they have a solid, viable business model? Do they have a solid, viable proposal? Do they have substance to back up what they claim? I feel like they're lacking in substance. So I feel like something that was hyped up is going to come crumbling down. And it's really important for you to keep your wits about you and be very discerning when you are interacting with people for this month, okay? Don't get duped. Don't let them, you know, poke at that soft heart of yours, because I feel like that's how they get you. And they might not have the best intentions. And I feel like they're a little bit reckless because it is your money that they're toying around with, not theirs. And that's why they're just a little bit reckless, irresponsible, and they're not doing the preliminary market research and spinning you this this pipe dream, and in fact it's not built on a stable foundation. So I want you to be very careful about where you are giving your money, to whom you are giving your money, and to where you are investing your money, okay? So be careful about that, all right? This is a really good place to be, and I feel like, you know, in terms of financial abundance, this is a very great place because you're not working very hard. You have a lot of leisure time, and so you want to maintain the status quo. You want to err on the safe side, and you want to, you know, minimize the amount of risk. Okay. Moving forward, what I have as well is I feel like this big travel opportunity that is beckoning you, calling you, and I feel like for some of you, you might be called in overtime at work. There might even be, if, for example, you are working on a commission on a client-based basis, you are getting some solicitation for travel, for leisure activities, to do sightseeing, to travel, to see another person. And especially if you are dealing here with a fire sign. So this is a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo, sun, moon, or rising. They're telling you, come to see me, come travel this way. And you're kind of on the fence about, do I really want to go to see that person? Do I want to get emotionally more wrapped up in the other person? If you were to travel, I feel like you're going to be dealing with it at a financial cost to you. And I feel like you need to keep yourself available because of work projects, because of things coming through. So if you're taking the time off to make this travel arrangement or to, you know, really travel, I feel like you're going to have to forego, like you're going to have to turn down some projects because you're not physically available to undertake these projects. And at the same time, if you're looking for work, if you're looking for solid employment, try to stay put, try not to travel, because news are coming through very unexpectedly, and you need to be present physically in order to follow up with a firm, to follow up with an organization, to be able to get new jobs and to land new projects. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. What I mentioned earlier as well is I do feel some issues within the home, either somebody dealing with health issues, or especially substance abuse. This is a card about somebody who is a little bit more like playing the victim, someone who's dealing with a lot of sadness, a lot of grief, but I feel like they're not really cognizant of the fact that they have created a series of they have chosen a series of bad life decisions, and I feel like it's gotten them to a place where they're kind of like, woe is me. Okay, so I feel like there is a need for you to travel as well, to take care of situations within the household, things that are kind of rocky. They're gonna crumble down. So that means the home family foundation, especially if you need to stage intervention for young children here with the page, somebody who's gone off the deep end, somebody who's lost their sense of direction, who has lost their moral compass, or who is in a space where they feel very stuck and they don't know how to get themselves out of their predicament. So I feel like there is going to be some family demands coming, kind of like falling upon you, and you're going to need to keep yourself physically and emotionally in top shape in order to deal with this. So that means traveling, plans that have been made, I feel like they might need to be revisited, or they might need to be like changed at the last minute. Okay, Cancers, I'm also feeling for many of you as well. There are a lot of creative ventures that are coming through for you, and this is more like on the creative end, which is so for example, if you're working in a creative field, if you for example, do things with your hands, build things, create things, like an artist, a singer, a photographer, a model, if it's a creative endeavor, I feel like some creative endeavors will allow you to rub shoulders with some really important people. And I feel like you're going to be traveling to do these creative endeavors. You're also going to be as well expanding, outwards, dealing with a lot of people from different walks of life, different parts of the world, dealing with people who might be outside of your, cultural, linguistic, national background. So I feel like there's a lot of opportunities for expansion, right? So be very clear to keep yourself, keep expectations very fluid for this month. Don't say, oh, I'm not going to do that. It doesn't look like it's going to pan out for me. I feel like you should grab opportunities. And at the same time, if you're dealing with different people who are very, very different from you, be very open-minded, okay? Be able to navigate that social environment, because I feel like projects come into the picture, and then I feel like it's really going to enhance your visibility here. It's going to give you a lot of success. But when it shows up in the reverse position, success is theirs, but you need to grab these opportunities. You need to be on the grabbing end. You need to be on the proactive end to make it work for you, because they're falling into place, but it is still up to you to push this energy forward, okay? So how you interact with other people is going to be very, very crucial. They want somebody who is very confident. They want somebody who is very worldly and cultured. And they don't want somebody who's wishy-washy. They don't want somebody who's like having difficulties making decisions. So I feel like, err on the side of like showing your competence, showing that you're not wishy-washy, showing them the fact that you know what you're doing. Okay, so I feel like, going back to the first message that I mentioned, I feel as if you want to be very likable. You want to be, you want to go with the crowd, but I do sense that your sense of individuality is going to be very important for you to make traction in the world and for you to land new projects, okay? And for you to be in a very competitive environment where you're going to stand out in some way. Let me see here. The last message I'm getting here is I feel like this is a relationship here. You have a relationship, I feel, with this person. This is a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo. And I'm sensing, you know, the energy of this person. There's going to be some news coming through from this person that might really upset your plans. And I feel like it's very unintended, okay? And I feel like this is somebody that generally, they care about you. They wear their hearts on their sleeves. They're generally very, very loving, supportive, affectionate, and truthful. But I feel like there are some issues when it comes to communication between you and this person. And there is a sense of like, whether or not the relationship is fair, whether or not you see long-term potential for this relationship. If you do not see long-term potential for this relationship, it might be in your best interest to cut your losses now, because it feels like a lot of things are coming through. They might demand to come see you. You might want to come see them, and then things just kind of unravel at the last minute. And I feel like there's a sense here of a relationship that's on its way out. Okay, like they mentioned a relationship on its way out. So you want to be very careful about this. I'm going to do your love relationship reading in just a little bit. But I feel like reassessing the demands that your relationship partners are placing upon you, whether or not that is fair, whether or not they are giving their fair share of the contribution in the relationship. That's very crucial, okay? So let's go into your love relationship reading and see what's in store for you. I'm hoping to be able to flush out that energy. So let's see, love relationships for Cancers for the month of August 2017. So Cancers, love, romance, relationship, August 2017. I'm going to pull out another card for this cluster here. Okay, so let me talk about your reading here. So the foundation is something that you're coming into the month of, you're coming into the month of August with the knowledge of, okay, this is something that has already happened. You're dealing with it right now and you're coping with it. First of all, we have the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is a foundation for a very, very good relationship. This is stability. This is like living with another person, getting married to another person, creating a home, creating a family, creating an environment where two people can work together and, you know, take the relationship to the next level. I feel like some of you have been in this situation where you try to keep the family unit intact, where you have lived with another person. There might have been promises for marriage. There might be, you know, you're like buying property. You're trying your best to keep the situation stable. However, I feel here it's linked up with the Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups, it's like no matter what you did, the energy was very volatile between you and the other person. You might not have the same sense of what it means to have a family. You might not have the same direction when it comes to like, where do we want to take our relationship? There might have been some recent falling out between you and a significant relationship partner. And no matter how hard you try to keep the family unit intact, I feel that it is kind of like drifting away. The other party might have tried to move on. You yourself are trying to move on. And I feel like you're dealing with regrets, like I should have done this, I should have done more, I should have stuck around. So I feel like we're dealing with some regrets here as it relates to a recent significant relationship that you've been in. Significant relationships usually, last for like 5 years or more, okay? And significant relationships are relationships where you actually I feel like you have somebody that was very, very stable. You had somebody that you had plans to either move in together, get married, or buy property together, or you might have even been married with them. But I feel like there might have been a separation recently, a divorce, a moving out, and I feel like you're still yearning for that stability, and I feel like there is some regrets here. I should have done more, is what I'm hearing. So I feel some of you are dealing with regrets based on how a past relationship ended. What's in the past? This is the recent past. We have a lot of conflict. Some of you might have dealt with an air sign. We have here the 5 of Wands. And this is a situation where philosophically you can't agree with another person. Philosophically, it doesn't mean like, you can't agree on how to save money. It doesn't mean that. I feel like philosophically, the other person feels this is right and this is wrong, and you feel like that's not the case. So I feel like on some intellectual, on some philosophical level, you can't see eye to eye. And it feels like one person is behaving in a way where they're emotionally unavailable, or at least they feel like it seems to me like one person feels verbally or emotionally attacked by the other person. And it feels as well, one person feels as if the other person is not emotionally available. I'm looking at the 2 swords. One person has all these necklaces and gems and jewelry hanging on their swords. You were dealing with somebody where philosophically you feel like they were too, and I hate saying this, but it did come out. You feel like they're too materialistic. They're too money grubbing. They're so caught up in making money that they neglected the relationship. They neglected the home. They neglected their responsibilities as your relationship partner. And so there were a lot of, you love each other. They don't seem like a bad person. But the way that you both are approaching this issue, the way that you both view money, I feel like it was a major source of contention in the relationship. And then for others of you, you might have been dealing with a fire sign, a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo. And I feel like this fire sign might have accused you of stepping out on the relationship. The fire sign might have her or his own trust issues, where they're kind of bringing their trust issues onto the relationship with you. And they're looking at you through the lens of whatever hurts they've been dealing with the past. And so I feel like the interaction between the 2 of you, it's very exciting. It's very dynamic. It's really, it's very, I'm hearing like chemically inducing. So you might have had a lot of fun together. You might have experimented with a lot of, recreational things like drugs, alcohol. Like it was very, very fun. It was very experimental. Some of you are still dealing with this person, but I do feel overall that it's a relationship that is exciting, but it seems like one person plays the victim or one person is constantly attacking the other person. There are trust issues here for sure, okay? Moving forward into the present environment, what we have is the Magician. And we have as well the Ace of Wands. So let me talk about this. The Ace of Wands is kind of like new energy. This is like a new spark of passion being introduced in a relationship or a new person coming into the picture. And the Ace of Wands is a very, it's a very physically attractive type of a relationship where you are attracted to each other. There's a very strong sense of passion, chemistry, and things like that. And the person that you're dealing with here, the Magician. The Magician is somebody that is, they look really nice. They're very well dressed. They're very well groomed. And I feel like they're dressed to a T, like they're dressed to impress. This is somebody with quite a bit of, like they say, expensive taste. They might or might not have a lot of money, but they have expensive taste. They like to be wine and dine. They like to rub shoulders with the rich and famous. They might have a career in the public limelight. They might be a politician. They might be, like a entertainer. And so I feel like you have somebody coming into the picture that you are very, very interested in, and they're very dynamic, they're very attractive, very exciting, very intelligent as well. And I feel that you're carrying a torch. Some of you are carrying a torch for this new person. If you are in a relationship and your partner has trust issues, I feel like just to appease your partner, you want to be very, very clear to steer clear of this person because this person knows how to seduce, okay? So that's what I'm feeling here. Some of you are in one relationship and you are attracted to another person. And I'm also feeling some of you left relationships and you have a new person coming into the picture. It feels like it can be very exciting, but it doesn't feel to me like it's going to lead to a stable relationship because the nature of this is it's very like chemically inducing. It's very passionate. It's very exciting. But it is going to burn out. It is going to fizzle out. And over time, the passion and the excitement without that emotional rapport, I don't feel that you're going to settle for a relationship like that, okay? So you have opportunities for new attractions, short-term relationships, short flings, one-night stands. But when it comes overall to long-term relationship prospects, I just don't feel that this is the right person for you. Crowning this reading is something that you are thinking about. We have here the Five of Pentacles. And the Five of Pentacles, two other signs have gotten this card. This is a card where we are emerging from a really dark period in our life and we're trying to get back into the dating world. This is a card about overcoming a lot of difficult challenges financially, emotionally, even like self-esteem, overcoming self-esteem issue, overcoming our sense of lack of confidence in order to venture out and step into the light. And I also feel for many of you, there might have been a lot of financial issues affecting your ability to date, okay? So you might have been kind of like working very tirelessly to build up your empire, working very tirelessly to get away from this space of financial lack, to create a foundation for yourself and to create a better future for yourself. So your interest was not on dating. It was more on serious, tangible things. And in the process, if you are that person, in the process, you're going to encounter somebody who is very, very, they seemingly have it made. They seem very financially stable, very financially well off. They might make a living as a salesperson. They might make a living as like somebody who uses communication to make a living. A teacher, a salesman or salesperson, a saleswoman. A radio personality, a writer, somebody quite famous, okay, somebody who's quite well known, who's very confident. And I feel like just by proxy of interacting with this person, if you're coming from this space of lack and you encounter somebody like this, you're going to feel very inspired. You're going to feel very, very like on top of the world. And I do feel you are carrying a torch for this person, okay? So moving into the future, we have here the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Swords, and the Seven of Swords. For ladies, or actually people who are dating, so Cancerian people, if you're watching this and you're dating men, you have somebody that's really dynamic, okay? This is not a long-term relationship partner. This is somebody that, yes, he is exciting, but I feel like he can be deceiving, and he can have a lot of groupies, a lot of other people pining after him, vying for his attention. It's not going to lead to a relationship, because I feel like there could be other women in the picture, other people in the picture that he is feeding the same romantic story to, okay? And I feel like Cancerian people who are dating women, you have two women prospects here, and this is a really, really good prospect. So both of these are actually very good. You have a water sign, so another Cancer, a Pisces, or a Scorpio. And this is somebody that wears their hearts on their sleeves. They are really, really loving, faithful, attractive. And actually, I feel like with Cancerian men or women, regardless of who you're dating, I feel like you have two options here. So one is a water sign, very loving, very nurturing, and I feel like the communication, the emotional rapport between the two of you will flow really well. And we have the Queen of Swords, which is an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And I feel if you are dealing with both of these options, you're going to have to make a choice between, one of them. I'm also feeling there is, try to make a choice really soon rather than being caught in this situation. This is a card about deception. So you don't want to be caught in this situation where you are juggling two people. I don't feel that you're that type, but I just feel like if the decision is drawn out, if you enjoy both of their companies and you don't make a decision soon, it can be construed as buying time, or it can be construed as being deceitful, or, trying to get away with dating the both of them. They might know about each other, so just be very careful. I feel for ladies, though, be careful about, being enthralled by somebody that's very flashy, but that has like other options on the table, okay? Singles people, I feel like you're so busy. Love is really not on your agenda. And I feel like if love is not really on your agenda, you're going to encounter people that you are professionally linked up with. And honestly, I feel like there is a very strong person here, very dynamic, a little bit of a player. I don't trust that magician energy. This is somebody who talks big but lacks the substance. They can be very attractive, very intelligent, but I feel like it's just, it's a little bit problematic, okay? But we have here a very strong, I feel like a strong fire sign that you might have left behind for many of you. And then we have two other options, which is a big air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, coming through. And also a water sign that can be a little bit more emotionally appropriate for you, okay? Cancers, I wish you all the best. And, take it easy this month, okay? Don't wear yourself out. Don't try to accommodate so many other people that you don't take time off for yourself, okay? I'm going to be back for the mid-month reading to flush some of these energies out. I hope the reading has been helpful, and I'll talk to you guys soon. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, the information is in the description box below, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.